Okay, so thought I'll make a video. Haven't made a video in a while. So we'll just trying to live my life the best I can. Trying to do my chores, eat properly, brush my teeth, take care of myself. I want to talk about well, I want to talk about God, but I want to start off by talking about the symbol pi. You see the pi symbol. Let me all right, let's do that. So no, I guess that's the anyway. So the symbol pi. See, pi is, it's one of those symbols where the reason I'm talking about this symbol is because 3.14, oh shit. See, the way I understand it is the pi does not have, it's like a it goes all the way to infinity. So you have discrete numbers along a spectrum that leads to infinity. So why do I think this is important? Well, it's about reality. It's about space, time, and consciousness. It's about the idea of discrete things and unbounded, infinite, discrete things, and I don't know how to say this, and its relationship to the unbounded, infinite. It's about like how, if you think of space as 3 dimensions, like space as located like 3 dimensions. There's horizontal, vertical, and then that z-axis. Pi captures this idea that space is unbounded. Space is unbounded, located along a spectrum denoted by pi. So it's like the if you think of space as having an x-axis horizontal, y-axis vertical, and the z-axis, which goes, like, how in the 3D programs they have the z-axis. So space, you can try and locate an individual dot. Well, but you might never find it. But the idea is that each location along the space has a number, and if you try to locate a spot in three-dimensional space, you can use the pi to approximate its location. And time can also be represented by pi in this space-time continuum. Consciousness can also be seen this way. Each individual consciousness can be denoted by pi. So, just for instance, 3.14 blah 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 whatever can represent one person, and 3.14 blah 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 something else can represent another person. The same can be said of animals, plants, aliens, stars, planets. So it's like the idea that pi is like can represent the unique consciousness of an individual being in space-time. As time progresses, our individual experiences and memories can be located along the space-time continuum as well as the consciousness. So think of reality as think of reality or the universe as a kind of memory foam. Think of reality as like a jelly, and as we live our lives, as the Earth goes around the sun, as the sun goes around the galaxies, everything is moving, right? The galaxy is turning, and the universe is like a foam, and each second of each day is sort of located along this kind of foam. So the past is like, the memory of the past is located in one part of the foam, and the present is in another part, and the future is going to be in another part. So it's like reality is this kind of concrete, discrete experiences of individual beings are being expressed and manifested and experienced in this foam reality. So I feel like reality is something like this. It's like that pi shows it's sort of like it sort of connects the individual to the whole, the discrete to the unbounded infinite. So both of those, the relationship between the individual and the infinite, come together in this pie, this notion. There are individual discrete things along an infinite spectrum of space, time, and consciousness. So the universe is like, it's like a conscious living entity, and we are individuals, like, I put individuals in quotation marks because I think it's just the universe anyway. I don't know, I'm getting stressed. I don't know what to say. So I don't know. Maybe I should just rant or something. I don't know. I want to talk about God. God. I don't know. I feel like I should talk about God. When I was very young, the first time someone introduced this idea of God to me, I remember this. I remember looking up into the night sky, seeing all these stars, and thinking to myself, well, if I'm looking out into the night sky, into space, there must be someone else looking back at me. Just like I'm looking at the sky, someone is looking back at me. And this is who I thought of as God. God is out there in space, maybe beyond space. And just as I am looking at the sky, God is looking back at me. I I I I I I do believe God exists. I do believe God exists. It's like a feeling I have in me. In me, I have a feeling. It's like from my soul, from my heart. It's like a very, it's a very personal kind of thing where I feel like God exists. Yeah. God is like a sublime being, you know. It's like an elevated, sublime intelligence that's conscious, who is conscious. And I feel like, I feel like that's a reality. I know it's not, I feel like people, you know, especially, in the scientific world, they're like, oh, there's all God, it's all nature. I don't know. I feel like God exists. God does exist. Yeah. I've always felt that way. Now, when I think about God, the one thing that always bothers me is the suffering. Why would God allow suffering to exist? Why would God allow death, destruction? Look at the horrors in nature. Why would God allow something like that to exist? And the only way I can make sense of that, rationalize it is by, I think, this DNA-based life on this planet is created by machines, AI, artificial intelligent machines that don't have any empathy, but their job is to just, well, these AI machines, they might be alien, they might be all over the universe. Someone created it, and it's a self-replicating AI machine that goes around and creates life. But because it does not have any empathy, it does not have any sense of, like, yeah, empathy. It doesn't understand the value of suffering. So from the machine's point of view, it's just creating life. It's managing the biosphere of the earth. So it creates different types of life forms. So you have predators, and you have prey, you have trees. So it uses biology as a tool to manage the biosphere. So you have bees that engage in pollination, and then you got other. If there is too much of one type of being, another creature will be created to manage the population. So you got this predator-prey relationship. Some kind of artificial intelligence is managing this planet and perhaps other planets. It lacks empathy, and it's using DNA life forms as tools to do the management of the earth. But one of the consequences of this is that all of these individual sentient beings suffer, but the AI doesn't care. It'll only manage the suffering as long as, in order to, it needs the organism to survive in order to fulfill the function of managing the biosphere. So it'll put back mechanisms in there so the suffering isn't too much, but just enough to get the organism motivated to live and to exist in order to manage the biosphere. So that's the only way I can explain the existence of suffering on this planet and perhaps other planets, is that it's being managed by some AI machine type organism. Who created the AI? I think maybe the AI was created by beings from another dimension, or perhaps it was created by our ancestors. Well, I don't know, maybe not our ancestors, but some kind of intelligence created it. And maybe they created it and they left, they created humans to also manage the environment. I'm not really sure about that. I'm not sure about that. Maybe they're from a different type of life that is not DNA-based life. Maybe it's a type of life form that exists as light, like angels or demons, as a different kind of life form. So people have said, people who are familiar with the UFO topic, they've said that humans are like somewhere between the light and matter, the material realm. We've got bodies, but we also have something in us that is from another realm, another world, the world of light, the world of, the heavenly realms. So we have that in us, which is why we have this intelligence and this self-awareness, but we are also in these bodies which are part of the material realm. So we're like somewhere between the two. I don't know. It's but I do believe in God. I do believe in God. I don't believe this is my home. I don't believe Earth is my home. I don't believe this body is my home. I feel like my home is somewhere else. Like I don't belong here. In my soul, in my heart, in the core of my being, I don't belong here. I don't belong in the material realm. I don't belong in this place. No, I want to go back home. I want to go back. My consciousness, my self-awareness, my soul, this thing in me which can connect to God, to the heavenly realms, to that other place. I feel like that's my home, and that's where I belong. I don't belong here. You know, I don't. I feel like I don't belong here. I don't know if I'll ever go back there, but if I had to hope on something, my only hope would be to go back there. That would give me a hope, because when I look at the world around on this planet, I just look at it and say, I mean, what's going on here? What are we doing? I don't feel inspired by what's going on this planet, in this material realm, but I do feel inspired to go back, to connect with the heavenly realms, to the sublime, the divine, that place which is very different from this place. I feel like that's where I belong. Maybe, I can connect to that place. I can connect like every now and then when I am sitting down and meditating, or in this different place, I can connect to that heavenly realm, and that's where I feel like I belong there. I'm not saying I'm a good person or anything. I'm saying I just connect with that. Like if I want anything, I guess that's what I want. I want to go back home, and home is in another place, in another realm. It's like your consciousness is connecting with this consciousness that is like heaven, like the divine, like you can have those kinds of experiences on earth, the way you perceive the world. The world can be perceived as cruel, unforgiving, cynical, and then you can also perceive it differently. And when you perceive the world differently, you're seeing it from a different kind of place. So watch the movie Three Colors Red by Krzysztof Kozlowski. That's a very good film, Three Colors Red, because they deal with this topic of, the world is cruel, but then there's a different perspective, and I feel like that other perspective, yeah, I want to be there. I want to have that perspective. I want to see the world as someone who lives in heaven and not someone who lives on earth. Because if you look at the world as someone who's on Earth, it's just gonna be like chaos, and not, doesn't look too good to me. In order to, I mean, you can enjoy life. Yes, you can enjoy life, but something is missing. Um, but when I look at the world as someone who is not from here, but if you imagine you're in like some kind of you're outside and you're looking in, and like imagine you're in heaven and you're looking at Earth. If you see things differently, you might have a lot of compassion. Huh. I don't know. That sounds like, oh, I'm better than you. No, it's not like I'm better than you. It's more like, yeah, you see things differently, a little bit differently. So that's my rant. Yeah, I'm still trying to, it's a struggle. It's difficult living life on planet Earth. It's not easy. But, thinking about connecting to God helps. I don't know. Yeah, that's how I feel.